All right, here we are at Tacticae Imperialis headquarters, and today we're going to do a tournament list review. I am hosting a 1500 point Legions Imperialis tournament tomorrow, and I thought it would be interesting if we did a short video going through my list, and then I'll do another video tomorrow to review the tournament and how it went. So for this video, we're going to go through each formation that I'm taking in my 1500 point list, and then I'm going to reorganize what you see in front of you into the combat groups that I talk about in my Legions Imperialis How to Fight and Win video. So stand by for that. Our first formation is a Solar Auxilia Armored Company. We've got 4 detachments in this formation. We have a super heavy detachment with 2 Baneblades. That's going to have my tank commander in it, in the fully painted tank. We have 2 detachments of Leman Russ Vanquishers, supported by 1 Lightning Strike Fighter. And the Strike Fighter is going to be my primary anti-air. We do have some Tarantulas in the Pioneer Company, but I'm counting on this guy to be my mobile anti-air. Our next detachment is our Pioneer Company, starting off with 2 Valdors, a Solar Auxilia Las Rifle Tercio. We have a tactical command stand here, and then they are supported by 8 Velatari, 6 quad mortars, a small battery of 4 Tarantulas, and an Avenger Strike Fighter. Now the Strike Fighter has a particular purpose in my army. Usually I don't find aircraft to be particularly worth the points if you are pushing them very far upfield. For me, this guy is going to defend my back line. So if I have any deep striking units, any drop pods or anything like that coming into my back line, I'm going to bring in that Avenger Strike Fighter to try to take care of those. Our last formation is a sub-cohort, and we have, as you can see, quite a few detachments here. So the first one is, of course, our Legate Commander, or our Legate Marshal, and then we have 3 identical tercios, each composed of 8 las rifle models and 2 flamer stands. And I really should paint up more of the flamers. I do like having that 4 up to hit. And then we also have a detachment of Ogrons and a detachment of Velatari. I've reorganized the force into its combat group allocations. So we'll start with our heaviest group, our C's group, and you can see it's made up of 1 detachment of heavy armor, a detachment of regular armor, a detachment of Ogrons, a detachment of Velatari, and then a detachment of infantry. Now the idea here is that the armor are going to push forward, screened by the close assault infantry, which are going to assault the objective itself, supported by the guns of the armor. And then this infantry formation, this infantry detachment will move in to secure the objective once the attack has been completed. Our next combat group is a mixed retain and occupy group. So this is made mostly of our Pioneer formation, as you can see. And the main idea here is that there's no real point in separating the occupy and retain groups, because we can do both at once with the Pioneer Company. We can establish our control of the objective immediately on deployment with the infiltrate from all of these infantry models. And the Valdors are going to have forward deployment, so they'll be able to get in a good position to provide fire support as part of the retain combat group that's going to push the enemy off any kind of counterattack that they try to make. We have 2 more combat groups to discuss. They're both going to be retain combat groups, and the first one is just going to be this infantry detachment here with the Legate Marshal, and the second is going to have this armor and this infantry detachment here. And the aircraft and the tarantulas are kind of supporting both combat groups, because they're going to be off the table for the aircraft, and then the tarantulas, their job is really just to provide anti-air cover. So the idea here is we're going to look at the table and find a good position for these vanquishers, and they're going to be sighted in that position so that they can provide long-range fire and keep off the enemy. If there's a objective that's in closer terrain where the vanquishers won't be able to be placed in a position of good advantage, that's where we'll place this smaller retained combat group, just to hold on to that position. So now if you're paying attention, if you've watched How to Fight and Win, you know that we're going off doctrine a little bit for this list. We're missing one armor detachment, which should be in this retained combat group here. And we're also missing an occupy combat group. The main reason for that is I wanted to take the aircraft, so I just didn't have the points at 1,500 points to fit in another combat group of decent size. If I wanted to, I could probably get rid of the aircraft, throw in another detachment of Leman Russ, and then another Pioneer company of a smaller size. And then I'd have my 2 Occupy combat groups and a full retained combat group. So we'll see how tomorrow goes. I think this is probably the better way to go, because having these aircraft, we need that air cover. We need something to handle things in the back line, which the Avenger Strike Fighter will provide. And like I said in How to Fight and Win, that is a guide, just to get you in the ballpark, and then you adapt from there. So I think this will do well tomorrow. We'll see, and we'll make adjustments from there. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed a closer look at my models. Please forgive the fact that they are not all painted. Got a lot on my plate recently, but I think they look okay on the table, and I am looking forward to doing another video tomorrow, letting you know how the tournament went and how I organized it too, which hopefully some of you will find interesting for handling your own events. But until then, I'm going to sign off, and I'll see you in the next video.